What up, ladies and gentlemen? You guys are tuned in to the Madden Underground podcast. It's your boy Brian James, and I'm back with my guys, Philly guys, Snipes, B-Guard. What's good, fellas?
What's going on?
Chilling. What's good, y'all? Philly guy in Oakland, B-Guard in Utah. What's good, man?
Well,
Hey,
I mean, that's not fair, bro. You give out my city and then you just like shout out what state he's in.
We
Like you
talk,
could have
we
said
talk,
Philly and Cali.
like there's only one spot. There's only one spot in Utah that's got internet. I mean, it's clear you could find me if you want. There's
That's
one part of town that got internet.
terrible.
Exactly.
I just want a background like Snipes. That is futuristic. Looks like Microsoft, Google. It's clean. I like it.
So we out here, man. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to unpack. Um, we had another Man Underground Fast Money tournament this past week. Well, this Monday, we had a great broadcast. A lot of people tuned in and things like that. Just wanted to make sure we shouted out the champion, which was Laser. Laser had a great showing. He went through the gauntlet. He defeated Assassin in the championship. And Assassin was highly disappointed. He hit me up after the game, was like, yo, I can't believe I lost like that because he was shut out. He was saying that, a lot of people thought Laser had escape artists because of how fast his quarterback was getting out the pocket, but I assure you he didn't. We had multiple people check during their game with him, and they were like, yo, he doesn't have escape artists.
You do know like you can check like in game to see what abilities they got, right?
They did that. So they were doing that during the game because it was like, this makes no sense for him to get out the pocket that fast. But yeah, he didn't have it. He had set feet lead and hot route master. So I don't know. Maybe that's the new escape artist. I don't know. But the dude was getting out of there, and he was
on it.
Yeah, he was killing, and he was running the ball with Alstott all crazy like. So that was definitely impressive. I will say that. The least. But that was a great showing by him. He had a great showing. A couple other players had great showings too. Assassin bounced back from week 1. He was eliminated in the first round, but he made it all the way to the championship in this one, which was great. Lot of other players. John Madden, he's new to the league. Was new to the Madden Underground League this year, not to the MWS scene. Maybe I don't know if he's competed in the MCS scene or nothing like that, but he definitely had a great showing. He made it to the semifinals in his first appearance in the Madden Underground Fast Money tournaments. So congrats to him. What's good, MTV? I see you in the building, man. But I don't know. You guys were there. How did y'all feel about the tournament? Snipes, Philly guy.
Well,
I'm mad at B-Guard because B-Guard labbed with Nev and Nev got smacked first game.
Hey man, I told him what to do. He didn't do it.
Oh man, he got smacked first game.
Like, why are we blaming me?
Because he lied with you right before the game. He was like, "Hey, B-Guard,
I can only give him directions. I can't drive for him.
Man, yeah, you shouldn't have you gave him the wrong directions." Well, how'd you feel about it, Snipes?
Man, I mean, what Laser did, man, just using all stat out there, and what was the Johnson? Because I swore, that's the beauty of MUT. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't know exactly who's who. You know what I mean? Because I know a couple times I called out Keyshawn Johnson simply because I saw he's a buck.
It was
to number
Johnson.
19. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean. So it was but he did crazy work with all stat. I can't even count how many times he was just running folks over with all stat. It was ridiculous. Like nobody could stop him. Nobody could stop him, and he had and it was just a mixture between all stat and Mixon, and he had Mixon just all open, just balled it out of control. I mean, it was just crazy, man. It was a great. You guys already know. Obviously, I'm really started getting the MUT now. I actually like it a lot now, and following that tournament, that just added more fuel to the fire, man. I'm enjoying it a lot now. I'm having a blast with it, man.
Yeah, Dimes saying he was iPhone slide glitching. Dimes made it known. Yeah, he said he was out there iPhone slide glitching. But yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a thing now. I've heard of that. That's a
Yeah.
thing.
So
You might have to take a look at that before the next.
No, we've already made provisions for it.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
So whatever that particular red route glitch is,
Is it Dunzo or?
Yeah, it's banned from here on out. But but yeah, moving forward, yeah, that red route glitches will be banned. You would find out when you register for the tournament tonight. Once the podcast is over, the registration will open up live. So make sure you guys tune in for that. What did you think about the tournament, Philly?
Well, first of all, shout out to Dimes for being in the chat. Everybody MTV famous, but I feel like the bigger story here is the fact that Snipes is going to be competing in the next tournament. That's what I heard.
He's like, hey, man, I love Mutt. I'm hear that from here. That ain't me.
That's a bigger story.
Yeah, I feel like you got to check your sources, Philly.
Yeah, you got to
check.
What?
You know, B-Guard, you single-handedly destroyed Nev. Okay, and I'm supporting you.
I had nothing to do with that. Y'all got to give more credit to Assassin for that.
You know what?
No, real talk. Assassin balled out though. He made up for that first week.
No, yeah, he definitely made up for the first week. Assassin had a great.
Why you taking away from Assassin? Like he didn't do that. Why like, oh, it must have been B-Guard. Oh, you had with B-Guard, you go lose by 70. Like, no, come on now.
I can answer your question. Well, first of all, you had to be there. Okay, so since you weren't, I was
there. I watched that game. I was there.
You watched it, but you didn't get a chance to broadcast it. However, I will say this: as well as Assassin did, first of all, I'm not surprised that Assassin did well because Assassin always does well until the moment gets too big, and then whatever it is, he hasn't figured that out yet. And I'm waiting.
Assassin had a great showing. I can't normally.
He didn't. I just said he, for whatever reason, he hasn't gotten over the hump. I'm waiting for him to get over the hump. And I think that we talked about this last week. The tournament was great. We saw a lot of people. We saw some rivalries we saw in the first tournament come back again.
Yeah.
People get to go head to head. We saw some adjustments in the cards. So I thoroughly enjoyed the tournament this time around because I felt like it was way more competitive. And I felt like, some people got matched up with different people and they were able to advance a little bit further. And we don't know what's going to happen in this third one. So, like I said, I enjoyed it. Burko was saying that Laser was going to win, but I thought Burko had a chance to beat Laser. If he would have punted the ball, I felt like he would have beat Laser. Maybe he could have repeated as champion.
Burko had to go. He said he had to go, so that's why he was like, "Yo, I had to go." But that's why he went for it. But he definitely could have won that game easily.
Yeah. So like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was great having Snipes on the call and the replays and just being able to hop between games and I'm excited to see what happens when you open it up. You know what I mean? Because we had a lot of people that keep expressing interest, and I want to see some of those people that that were following the tournament. I want to see them actually play in the tournament.
And definitely, so I want to shout out the top 5 right now while we're talking about the tournament. Number 1 is Laser, because he's the champion. He's the latest champion. Number 2 is Burko. Number 3 is Assassin. Number 4 is Hit Stick. And number 5 is John Madden. Like I said, I think the dark horse in the entire tournament that showed something that we probably didn't expect or even expect was John Madden, because he's new to Madden Underground. He's one of the guys that I know he's a solid tournament player, like live event player, and he's in the Bay as well. I think he's in the Bay as well with you, Philly. But I think he had a great showing. His stick has probably been the most consistent because every week he makes it no less than the top 4. Every week. Assassin had a great showing. Burko, if I think had Laser not beat him, Burko would have been in the finals as well. And then Laser had a great debut. So shout out to those guys, man. They had a great performance. A great debut. So.
Indeed.
But let's move on to the next topic, man. We got some news this week about a few things that's going on in the community, or about to go on in the community, I should say. We got possible Madden 23 beta any day now.
Yeah.
What should we expect from Madden 23? What do you guys expect from Madden 23?
Man, all you guys know it. You guys, I say it all the time, and I'm gonna keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. So, I just want crossplay. I want crossplay. I want crossplay. I just want crossplay. I need to see EA, put that out there, and in this beta, make it happen in this beta. I mean, it's we've talked about it off camera, where we talked about the NHL, NHL doing things, FIFA doing things right now as well. So it's out there, and EA has titles already that they that they're using this. So it's about that time for Madden to get it as well too. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to that, and I just have a feeling we're gonna see something crazy with the passing this year. We're hearing a lot about it. You know what I mean? I just think we're gonna hear something or see something crazy in that beta when it comes down to to the passing game this year. And obviously we talk about animations and everything as well too. They're changing up the animations and everything a little bit, and this beta just has to hurry up. I'm just waiting for the beta, because typically, and you guys could agree with me or not, but typically when that beta comes out, it's dang near the final product. You know what I mean? It's dang near. It's not much. There's not much difference.
Oh, it's huge difference. Huge. I disagree with that.
Nah, not to me.
I disagree with that. The beta last year, when you played the beta, Philly was actually decent on the beta, and then the game came out and he was terrible. So.
Oh, so that's the reason.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I was in the top 10. I was in the top 10.
Low key, he was top 10. He was actually top 10 and head-to-head rank matches. And then when the game came out, he just went from sugar to poop. So
thank you for your kind words.
No, I'm just saying I'm giving you credit to your credit.
No, I'm saying I'm saying your words. Like that's exactly what happened.
Wait, you say, like, to your credit, you were good, but then you sucked. To your credit.
No, yeah, he was good. When the game was in its building stage, Philly was actually good at the game, and then they did something. The game was released, and then he just turned into Philly guy again. Turned to pumpkin.
They watched Philly guys like, oh no, we need to adjust this.
Well, I mean, I think I think what's the same. Animations. There was certain routes. There's certain routes that might have been different to me, but I just think 9 times out of 10, it's once that first build comes out, it's dang near gonna be the final product, man. Because I mean, they don't change a tremendous amount. They don't, and they're not gonna change a lot this year. There's a couple little things here and there. I just want them to add that crossplay though. That crossplay has to happen. It's got to happen.
I don't think they're gonna do if they do crossplay. I'll be surprised, but I don't think they're gonna do it if the gameplay is bad still. Like crossplay won't even matter if the gameplay is as bad as it was. Its defense is as bad as it was this year. So if it's the same, it doesn't even matter at this point. But I know we're all gonna play it anyway because we just love to play the game. But
I've had so many people actually, hit me up and say, that I'm so bad. I got to get better at defense and this, that. And I'm talking about Madden 22. And it's like, there's not a lot of people as good at defense. There's nobody good at defense. You can't.
If you find a good defense, hey, let me know.
And for real, they need to put an ebook out if they find a good defense.
Yeah.
It'll defense. Like hotcakes.
Defense was literally non-existent this year. So
non-existent. Yeah.
That's crazy. But yeah, what about you, Philly? How do you feeling about it?
Well, I agree. Crossplay would be a great addition, and I do disagree with you, Snipes. I do feel like, and speaking from personal experience, a lot did change from the beta to the finished product, and a lot of it had to do with the defense, because when we were breaking the game down when the beta was there, I know that there were a lot of adjustments and defenses that I was calling and using. They play completely differently when the final version of the product came out, and there was a lot of things that were just hard to adjust. And I personally, I just got frustrated. I didn't see it as a priority to have to spend so much time trying to figure out why it was broken. It's the simple fact that it was broken, and there's nothing that I could do to fix it. and it definitely, you know, took a lot of fun out of it. But obviously, you know, Madden Underground is a great experience, and I think that with the merger conversations that are happening, you know, with the fact that we're another year into next gen, I think that, you know, we should actually be excited because you know, MUT was still extremely successful. You know, I like the fan appreciation challenges and everything else that they're throwing in right now. I know it's the 4th season, but you know, there could be some things coming in Madden 23 that we just don't know about that could be absolutely amazing. It could be absolutely fantastic. And I think, you know, that's what we're waiting for, right? Because if they've fallen from grace, the only way to go is up. So, you know, maybe this is the turnaround, and hey, I'm ready to see what happens. So why not? Go buy the game anyway. That's what you always say.
True indeed. What we talking, B-Guard?
Man, I just want a good game. Like, I want defense to matter. I want defense to matter. I like one of my biggest gripes with when they introduce zone drops is you can only back them up 30 yards. I should be able to back them out far ever I want. Like, if I want a dude playing 50 yards downfield, he needs to be playing 50 yards downfield. If I want him playing 10 yards down, he needs to be playing 10. Like, I also want playbooks to be different. Like, usually, like, playbooks are mostly the same every single year. And I just want new stuff added, like, playbook wise. Like, make creativity matter again. I'm tired of seeing bunch every single year. Like, just more variety on playbooks. Like, I remember NCAA, like, there was so many different things you could run. But this year, like, Madden, it seems like creativity is super limited. And that's my biggest gripe.
Yeah. That's kind of been my biggest gripe too. The same. Everybody's. It seems like the last 2 years, there's only been one particular way to win championships, from an MCS competitive standpoint. But I think the year Joke did it, he kind of exposed some things. But this year, that's the year he kind of deviated, right?
That year's an anomaly, though.
That huge anomaly.
A total anomaly.
Yeah, huge anomaly. But that's what I think. But and like you guys were saying, like Snipes was saying, also, the fact that he said, "Oh yeah, that would never change." Yeah, that would never change. But yeah, what Snipes was saying as far as the game, the beta being the same as the game, it's a possibility that it may be the same. We may get the beta. I think it was only 1 year that the beta was actually like the game when it came out. And I think that was the year we did that entire franchise in a day. Remember that year, Philly?
That was 20, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 20. We had 32 guys in the franchise. We finished it in a day.
20.
I think Don's won a Super Bowl that year too in that 2-day franchise we did.
But Brian, but that wasn't that also the year that we had do all the salaries and everything else and fix all of that stuff?
That was also that year too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that there were some things that were wrong with the game, but I thought the gameplay was fairly decent. But that was still previous gen. I know a lot of people that are still on old gen saying that the game is okay to them. They're not really complaining about it. I think it's more so a next gen issue. So,
the one thing that we got to remember too, though, is that we're still only 2 years into these next gen consoles, so. I was having a conversation earlier with somebody in regards to this, and we're still only 2 years into it. They have not even tipped the iceberg on what they could do with these next-gen consoles yet. So, you know what I mean? I think we're just going to go year by year, hoping and wishing that certain things happen, and it might not. But then, maybe a couple of years from now, we see a major change. And I think right now, we just have to kind of be patient in that regard. When it comes down to this, to next gen anyway. Current gen is current gen. It is what it is.
Definitely.
But next gen, that's we just got to be patient.
And I know I see Dimes in the chat saying that the current gen moves like old gen moves like zombie. And I get it. If you play next gen, if you go back to the old gen, I can't play it. I just can't. I can't go back and play it. I can't do it. So, but I guess to the guys that's never really messed with next gen like that, it's flying to them because they don't know anything else. Mm-hmm. But that's that. Who do you guys see being on the Madden cover this year? I know you guys. I know last week we were talking about John Madden. Possibly you have to have a John Madden edition. But like, if there's a cover athlete, who you think would be the cover athlete?
I'll go first. I think it's gonna be Joe Burrow. Like they always trend to the hottest young quarterback for the last couple of years, outside of the one with Brady and Mahomes. But they usually do that. They did that with Lamar. They did that with Mahomes. The last couple of years, that's the direction they've gone. So I think it's pretty simple. I think they go with Joe Burrow.
Okay.
I was thinking about this earlier today. I would actually like to see Aaron Donald on the cover. I would like to see Aaron Donald on the cover. I think that would be a nice change. You know what I mean? One of the most dominant defensive players that we've seen. You know what I mean? I would love to see, and the primary reason I thought this is real simple. I want to see some damn defense this year. So that's where I'm at with it. I'm hoping that Aaron Donald makes the cover. I'm praying for Aaron Donald to make the cover.
Okay. What about you, Philly?
Hey, you know what? You know how much I love Aaron Donald. I love the way he plays the position. I love that position itself. But honestly, for me, I think that what they need to do is whoever makes the Super Bowl. Okay, you got to have like the best player in the NFC and the best player in the AFC, and it's got to be like, you know, the Marvel Comics, DC Comics, you know, where they're like facing off. You know what I'm saying? Like those two players change because you do have two teams represented in the Super Bowl, one from the AFC, one from the NFC. So, you know, I feel like from a competitive standpoint, you know, you're a fan of maybe of one of the teams and they didn't win. You know, you want to start smacking people around like, hey, if I had the Bengals, this is what I would have done. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to see at least two players. I'd like to see one from each conference, and I feel like they should represent the teams that actually played in the bowl.
Okay. I think, me personally, I think it's going to be John Madden, and then if they do a cover athlete, I think it'll probably be a Joe Burrow, Aaron Donald combination. You know, I think they'll probably do two athletes, kind of like the Joe Burrow, Aaron Donald facing off in the bowl or something similar to that. But you gotta have young and old. I think that's what you kind of have to do. Cater to the old. Somebody that the old people can get behind. Somebody that the young people can get behind. They did it this year with Brady and Mahomes. I think Aaron Donald. You know, I think everybody loves Aaron Donald, and then Joe Burrow. He's the next up. So you kind of have the past and the future, or the present and the future. You know, so I think that'll be a great decision to have both of them on there as well.
But they definitely got to have Madden though. The Madden has got to be on the Ultimate Edition. Whatever Ultimate Edition you come out with, Madden has to be on it. They got to do that.
Let me check the chat and see what they're saying in the chat. They said what up? Don't get mad. We got Don't Get Mad back in the chat. We got Dimes in here. We got MTV Famous. We got Zilla in here. I see Zilla saying no, that's Dime saying Josh Allen. MTV Famous is saying Burrow. And Don't Get Mad at saying Madden, man. So I don't know, man. Like I think for sure they're gonna have a Madden cover for sure, just to honor his legacy and things like that. But for the most part, I think Josh Allen could be a good feature too.
That could be a good one.
But and then on top of the situation, he's representing Buffalo. I think that's another great reason to put him on there too. Just something that the people can get behind and give them something to be proud of or something like that. In these tragic times and things like that, man. But yeah, I think it could be any one of those guys. I think whoever's on there could be great of the guys that were named, you know. But I guess it's time to move on to the next topic. You know, we got an interesting topic this week. Very interesting. EA is talking about EA is looking to sell or merge with some pretty big name companies, and I think it's a rather big deal. Than people are actually making of it. Well, some people are making it a big deal, but I think it's bigger than we actually think. I think for the most part, it's something that if it were to happen, a lot could possibly change. I'm not saying in the sense of microtransactions or anything like that, but I'm curious to see what you guys would think would change if that were to happen?
I mean, the change has already started. And I actually had to sit down and think about this for a minute too on why EA would even want to do this here. And I actually came with one conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it has nothing to do with Madden. I really think it has everything to do with losing FIFA. I mean, that's a big loss. That is a tremendous loss for EA. And you know, just the fact that you lose that's not just the USA. You know what I'm saying? That's worldwide. That's worldwide sales right there. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is a huge back off right there for EA. And I really feel like you know, because they're looking more to merger. I don't think they necessarily want to sell. I think they're looking more to merger, according to the things that I've read. It looks like that they're trying to do more of a merger than anything else. But I think they're trying to get in the, you know, get somebody that has some type of backing. You know, for example, Apple. That, you know, Apple, obviously, you know, big tech company. You know, obviously they have their Apple Arcade, so they can bring more arcade things to from EA to the actual arcade. You know what I mean? I play the arcade a lot, so I know a lot about the little things in the arcade. So it's actually very, very popular, and a lot of people, they subscribe to it. And you might get more people subscribing to it. You know what I'm saying? But as far as a change, I don't know if there's gonna be. I mean, are we talking like internally? You know what I'm saying? Are we talking like an internal change? What are we talking here? You know what I mean?
What do you think, Philly?
Well, you know, I think when you talk about the three companies, and I think there's a fourth that's been introduced, but you know, Amazon comes to mind.
Comcast.
Yeah, Amazon, but all of them have the same thing in common. Like, you know, for Amazon, they happen to own Twitch, and obviously Disney, you know, Disney owns everything, damn near. And then, you know, you also have Apple. You talked about, you know, the services they have, and then even if you mention Comcast, to me the commonality and all of that is streaming. That's not something EA does. So you're talking about, they're very good at microtransactions, and you're also talking about streaming services. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just need to partner up with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Chocolate and peanut butter, and you know, and then you can expand. And it's really more about, to me, it's really more about subscription based, and it's also more about the larger market that's out there. You know, for people that aren't going to necessarily buy your game, but, you know, they'll play it if they're on the bus or if they're using other media devices. So I think it'll be a merger. Like I said, I don't know which one, but I think it's a good idea. I think it's a smart move. I think it's a smart move to grow.
So I'm looking in this article. I don't see Comcast anywhere, but I do see Disney. The three that are being talked about are Apple, Amazon, and Disney.
Yeah.
And compared to EA, compared to those three, has nothing on them. And like a merger to me would be like, yeah, we're gonna work together. Like, why would any of those three want to like do that? Why, when they could just buy them outright with all the money they make?
That's the problem they're having though, is that
EA,
they want to buy them out.
EA is like has a $40 billion market cap. You guys know what Apple's market cap is? 2.2 trillion. So they're like over 10 of those. That's it's not comparable. And so I really think FIFA has a lot to do with EA wanting to sell, but I don't think it's for the reasons that we all think. Because when you're trying to sell a business, what's the first thing you do to make yourself look attractive to a potential buyer?
Oh, you fix everything.
No. Cut costs.
You definitely cut costs too.
So maybe that's part of the reason why they don't have the FIFA license right now. They can always get it back.
That is true. That is true. But they also got a lot of different licenses to go with it the game that they're actually gonna make, the soccer game that they're actually gonna make. They were able to what they paid for that FIFA license. They were able to get a bunch of licenses, over 300 licenses.
Like, like as long as you got all the leagues.
Yeah.
You have access to the players. All the good leagues, you're gonna have, like you said, you're gonna have good access to the players, and that's what really drives people. Want to play with Cristiano Ronaldo. People want to play with Lionel Messi. If you can't play with those guys, you're not making a soccer game. Like there's just no soccer game to be made at that point.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how it's going to affect EA or anybody like working for EA. I just don't think a merger is realistic because of how much smaller they are compared to the Amazons, compared to Apple, compared to Disney, maybe even Comcast. Like those guys are in a totally different realm. But I do think it has a lot to do with streaming service, and maybe that's the future of gaming, is a subscription based platform where you subscribe to something for, like, let's say $15 a year or $15 a month, and then you get to play the library of the games. And but who knows? I still feel like they make decent money off of hard copy sales, but I'm not sure. But time will tell. I think we need to pump the brakes a little bit and see what happens next, because like it's still pretty early in these stages.
Yeah, I know that everybody was scrambling after seeing what Microsoft did with Blizzard and things like that. And I know EA, that's what they're actually looking to kind of get that type of deal,
like,
but you don't have the same titles.
For what, $68 billion?
Yeah. That's what they're looking.
So like EA,
that's what they're looking at.
So EA, and EA's got sports licensing. Yeah, they could go for double that.
Yeah. So I think
easy double, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think they could actually do that. Very possible, but a few other companies were interested in jumping in the mix. I know, but they're none as big as the names that we've named as Amazon, Disney, and Apple. There are no other companies bigger than.
Like if Google decides they want to jump in, then that would be the next biggest. But I'm not sure if that's going to happen.
But Google already has Stadia, right? That's something that they've already.
Yeah, that's about to be trashed though. That's about to be trashed soon.
You think so?
Yep, that's about to be trashed. That's about to be.
You don't think if you can you have the exclusive rights to EA games, that may not change that.
If you're talking a hypothetical, then absolutely if they were able to do some type of exclusivity with Stadia. Oh yeah, that'll save Stadia's life. But right now, Stadia's trash.
Yeah, I think that would be a lifeline for that application.
Indeed.
And I feel like there's other reasons why Activision sold. Like they had a real mess of a toxic workplace environment and stuff. Like that's another whole reason that they sold. Because probably the people running it doesn't want to deal with it anymore, so they got Microsoft to pay $68 billion to take it off their hands.
Yeah, and I think that could also be it too. But I know for a fact that EA is looking for that type of deal where they can say okay, but the only problem that they're having is that they still want to be in control of creating a product, and that's the thing. Is like if we're not sure that's that's the thing. Like if you know that the people that are creating Apple, the people that are creating iPhones have an opportunity to work on a EA game.
They're gonna put their guys.
They're gonna put their guys in there. Like these guys are the best of the best. Like these, so
it's like I said, it's way too early to speculate. But because with me, a merger means a partnership, and I just don't feel like EA's on the level of Apple or Amazon or Disney to be a partnership. I feel like they just get bought out. They're just gonna no, we're just gonna buy your rights and then go from there, and we're gonna run the company. And that might be the thing that stalls talks.
Yeah. So that's I agree with that as well, man. But like I said, there's so much going into it, and I think that's why I said right now, EA has an opportunity to showcase that they can put out great quality games to maybe boost the morale of the gaming community, boost the morale of their consumers and things like that, to maybe entice those bigger companies that want to buy in on their terms.
Well, I guess like I don't think that's a driving factor. Like it's all about the names that like I don't really feel like they care about the quality of the game. They see they see people buy it and put more money into it.
Yeah.
Despite all its faults. Like I think quality would be nice, but they see that it makes a ton of money. That's what makes it attractive. Like if it was a good game that made no money, they probably aren't gonna want to touch it.
Yeah, that's true indeed.
Like if it lost money, they're gonna be like, "Whoa, hey, hold on here." Like that's.
And me and
like,
you,
yeah,
we talked about something very interesting too the other day in Discord. Remember we were talking about the roster update, the roster update, and how even this late in the game they're doing things to drive you to spend more money.
Yeah.
They have players that are throwing differently in MUT now.
Like Dan Fouts for an hour had a bad release when he was announced. Dan Fouts, the card you get that you could when you level up, you progressively level him up as you get more XP. He had a bad release, and then an hour later they turned into the best release in the game. That's not a coincidence.
No, it's not. It's not. It's that these promotions, they do these promotions, and then they take away, like I said, I noticed McNair throwing a little different when the Cam Newton card came out. So if it was like if you got this McNair card, everybody that was using McNair card is now using Cam Newton because, like, it's a difference in the throwing. I felt like it was like his throwing motion got a little weird to say the least. But
yeah, it's funny how that happens.
Yeah, and it was after the same update you're talking about.
Yeah, why are we doing why are we doing roster updates in May? What's to be updated?
I'll answer that one because
hold on. Like what are we updating? Like there's no roster transactions that you're recording. Like nobody's going in there and say, "Oh, hey, AJ Brown is on the Eagles now. Tyreek Hill's on the Dolphins. We're going to switch all those dudes around." Nobody's doing that. Go ahead.
Well, look, this really kind of goes back to, again, they're not looking for a partnership. They're looking for a merger. And a merger means somebody's going to be acquired. So, the subscription-based service, you're talking about 3 international companies. You're also talking about basically being a game division. You're saying, hey, we specialize in gaming, so we want to be a gaming division, and we fall under your umbrella. As far as season 4 with MUT goes and some of the product changes and additions that we've seen, I mean, let's be real. There's an untapped market. The pandemic showed that there is a tremendous untapped market because of all the people that came over to gaming. Right now you have kids are getting out of school. They got their whole summer breaks ahead of them. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to worry about homework and teachers. And if they really want to lock into a game and they want to, be able to play a game and get some cards and be able to do some things, they can do that now. And you as a parent, if you're coming out of the pandemic, you lack the resources to be able to send your kids. You don't feel comfortable sending your kids to summer camp and stuff like that. You know what? Okay, at least I know that you're going to be at home. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be playing a game. You got something to do. You're not going to be out in those streets, whatever. Like, there's an untapped potential market there. And sports-based gaming needs to be 24/7, 365. You got the main season. You got the playoffs. You got the off season. You know what I'm saying? You got the drafts. You have all of these events and opportunities, for untapped potential in these types of markets. So I can understand from my own view. I can understand what I perceive to be happening. And again, I think it's necessary. This is a company that's supposed to be making money. Obviously, you don't want the Cam Newton card and the Steve McNair card throwing the same. And you know what? If your first commercial or your first release and advertisement for a product, it doesn't work, you know what? You got to go back to the drawing board and figure out, what's going to make it pop. And then you release it and it pops and then everybody gets it. Like that to me, that's really basic. So I can't knock them for that. But, like I said, it's so much potential to be part of an international market, and there's so much potential for subscription base, and there's so much potential to tap into, the summer market of gamers. Who's doing that right now? Who's doing it? I don't think anybody's doing it. So why not be the first?
I feel like Apple, in my opinion, would be the best, because of the information the data that they've already collected. They already know who the gamers are. They already know who the consumers are. Just from the users, the information they've compiled from Apple users, whether it be a MacBook user, whether it be iPhone user, whether it be any other product that they've created. But I think that they would be the best candidate to acquire EA, just from that standpoint alone.
Well, that money, on top, B-Guard said it earlier as well too. The money that Apple has, they could acquire them with ease.
Yeah.
And it'll be just a drop in the bucket for them. You know what I mean? It's nothing for them to pick up EA. I think like I said, their subscription base that they have, they're actually doing very well. I do it as well too. My whole family, we all have iPhones. So we subscribe one thing for a family. Everybody can can play games and do whatever they want to do on the iPhones. And I think that'd be great for Apple. I think isn't Apple doing something else as well too? I believe they're trying to get the Sunday ticket also.
Yeah.
So
Apple is being super aggressive.
They're being real aggressive right now. Yeah, they're being real aggressive in sports right now. Really
super aggressive in trying to get into sports because they see Amazon has this Thursday night thing.
Yep.
They picked up Al Michaels for a huge money. They picked up Kirk Herbstreit.
They even got a playoff game now. So
yeah. They see that, and Apple's like, we want in this game too. We have a streaming service too. Like they picked up baseball like every Friday night. I think they have like a double header with baseball every Friday night.
Apple already did.
Yeah. So they've desperately wanted to try to get into the NFL.
Yeah.
This is the best opportunity, I think, in there. If you're trying to find a way in, you can easily acquire some form of NFL licensing. This is a fast track way to get it.
The problem is you got to take that game away. You got to take that game away from somebody else.
Yeah,
and that's going to be a dogfight because
there's a lot of
CBS, NBC, Fox,
with those
Disney.
guys. Right now.
I guarantee, because Thursday Night Football used to be on NFL Network, right?
NFL Network and Fox, yeah.
Yeah, so Fox probably wasn't happy about losing the Thursday night game.
Yeah, because this is
a lot of money.
It's exclusive this year to Prime, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it goes right back to what Philly talked about with with streaming service. That's why Amazon wants to be a part of it too, because streaming service. You know what I mean?
The NFL is getting an NFL game is almost a license to print money.
Yeah,
because you know that like 15 million people are going to be watching your thing because football is the biggest thing in this country. Like if you go look at the most viewed TV shows or TV events in the last year, it's going to be for NFL football. Because that drives so much money. Like the Super Bowl is one of the most watched things in the world. I don't think it hits World Cup, the FIFA World Cup levels, but it's up there.
FIFA World Cup now.
Yeah. Well, we talked about this about 10 years ago, I think, Snipes and Brian, because we were having a conversation about the Sunday ticket. Mm-hmm. And I know there was different contracts were getting ready to be renewed, and we talked about how much money the DirecTV was throwing out there, and that if they ever lost that, right, it would be curtains for them. We talked about that with Comcast, and so to your point, B-Guard, I think what's happening now, just like with FIFA, said, hey, you know what, EA, we're single. We don't want to be exclusive. We want to have this product out there for everybody. I think that there's no way that the NFL cannot see that potential possibility, especially when you have multiple companies that are going to be, they would bid on the games individually. I just want to be able to show this game for all of the reasons that we know that's out there. I mean, why do you need to have exclusivity when you can have people that are willing to pay you as much money, for certain games as opposed to the entire kit and caboodle?
Yeah. But the problem is there's only such a limited number of games that can be bought. With FIFA licensing, like anybody can get a piece of the pie. Like, but that pie is unlimited. Like, if somebody wanted to make a soccer game and didn't have to worry about, you're gonna have FIFA's license, okay, great. Like, whether it's good or not, that's up to you. But with the NFL, you only have 18 weeks of games. And then the playoffs, most of the playoff games are not going to be on cable television because not everybody has cable television. And so they want as many eyes on the product. There's a reason why the Super Bowl is on like NBC and CBS and Fox. And I don't know if that'll ever change. Maybe Amazon throws a ridiculous amount of money. Maybe Apple throws a ridiculous amount of money to put the Super Bowl on their streaming service. Because if you get the Super Bowl on your streaming service, you're going to become the number one streaming service in the world, like that, or in the United States at the very least.
Well, nobody's beating Disney, and I hate to say this, and this is the only time you're ever going to hear me say it. I'm definitely going to be showing my age right now, but for those of us that know what I'm talking about, you ain't got to say nothing, just keep it to yourself. But there was a time when all these games was on regular TV, and slowly we saw them starting to go on the cable, and
network.
That is what's happening right now. So there really is, even your local stations now, right? They're directly tied to some sort of cable service, right? You don't have regular broadcasting, so there's reason to believe that trend will continue, and you have to, because every time you say, a problem or this or that and the other, see. For me, it's about, okay, so it hasn't been done before. So how do we get it done? Oh, okay. So there's a market over here. Okay, so how can we get our hands on that? Because it's really more about, being that trendsetter and blazing that trail. Because somebody came up with the idea.
Yep.
Take Monday Night Football off of regular,
put it on ESPN
and have everybody right. Because what happens? It's just like with the smartphones, right? Everybody's got to upgrade, and then the stations are upgrading. I mean, it's a process. But if you're at the forefront of that, because Disney has been at the forefront of a lot of things, you know what I mean? And we all remember Blockbuster Video. We all remember them. But it's always something, some sort of technology, or just society. And I think we're trending in that direction. So, I don't want EA to go to Apple, because I know with Apple, they accessorize everything. You buy the MacBook Pro, but you got to buy these attachments, and you got to buy the power cord. You got to buy this, you got to buy that, you got to buy this. I'm like, okay, so when I buy my car, do I have to buy the wheels separately? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I building a car, or am I buying a car? So, I don't want things to be microtransactions on top of microtransactions on top of microtransactions.
Well, I don't think Apple. I know Apple is big on accessories, but it's normally to enhance whatever product it has, because it says like, okay, if you get the iPod, or the tablet, or the MacBook, or whatever it is, the product.
Actually, to be fair to Philly's point, I mean, people bought, like, iTunes was kind of like, wasn't iTunes like the thing that changed with music, where you shouldn't buy a single song? Like, I didn't do it. I'm not saying how I got my music.
LimeWire.
But
LimeWire definitely. LimeWire changed the game.
You said it, not me.
Napster
too. Napster and LimeWire.
Hey man, Napster got you.
By the power cord.
Yep.
Yeah, Napster definitely was getting people in trouble. LimeWire too.
Yeah, but thing with LimeWire
took 2 months to get the song.
Yeah, you had to risk some viruses to get the song.
Definitely. LimeWire took out 3 computers in my mama's house.
Definitely had to risk some things. Indeed.
It's like, why is all these viruses on these computers? I'm like, well, between the
Don't say it on the.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say it.
Leave it alone.
We know how they got there.
Between that and the music, between that and the music, you know, it is what it is. But but anyways, like I said, if they do that transition and merge and things like that, I'll be happy about it. I think with that all that stuff being said, I still feel that EA is trying to do a job of trying to make a quality game of Madden, given the bad reviews, the make franchise great again that trended on ESPN last year. It was just a lot of bad press last year, so you kind of have to do something to kind of especially you're revisiting Madden's legacy too at that this year, you know. Yeah. So it's like you kind of want to make the game be a different game. So
you know what? You hit the nail right on the head, B. James. This is the year that they really gotta they gotta nail this thing. It's got to be better than it was in 22. It's got to be, because if you mess up Madden's legacy by doing it doing it just like 22. Man, that's just not a good look, man. I mean, where?
Oh, we got Seth Barkley in the building. What's up, Seth?
At that point, I'm just waiting for NCAA to come out next year if I want to play some football. I'm gonna wait for NCAA to play some football.
No, you're not. Come on, Snipes. Come on, man. Look, we talk about.
I'm saying I can't. I won't be able to wait. Like I'm eager to play NCAA. I'm looking forward to it. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not talking about that part. I'm talking about, regardless of the direction that EA goes this year with their product, because I agree with you and Brian. Madden's legacy should be honored. And actually, if you think about some of those new features we talked about, I mean, how much more realistic is it for you to be for you to have your quarterback's accuracy be a challenge to do? Like it has to be a skill now. It's skill based. You know what I mean? Like, I can understand the opportunity to get a lot of money because Madden passed away, and you can honor his legacy in a number of different ways, right? You can make a lot of money off of it. You can also put in a skill based passing, which is true to the vision that he had. He wanted the football game to be 100% football related, from formations to being able to have line stunts, like every little thing that he experienced as a coach and anticipated in the future. He wanted that to be a tool, right? Mm-hmm. And so, like I said, I think it's possible, but I know you're going to be right there with us, brothers, because I know we've already talked off air about Madden 23 and me and you doing is my thing. We've already talked about it. Start. We got our tortoise in the hair race. You know what I'm saying? Starting at zero.
Oh, hey. And me and B got
look at him. He looks so damn excited.
Yeah.
So excited.
Because you got to think about it. Philly has been left behind. Like he's just now getting his feet wet with mud right now. So, he's starting to starting to like it. I ain't gonna say fall in love with it, but I'm saying he's starting to like it. Kind of see the perks of playing it.
Look, it's a fun mode to play. Like, don't get me wrong, it is a fun mode to play. If you like I said weeks ago, if you don't want to spend money, there are ways to build your team up. It's just, do you have the time to do it?
Right.
Like, that is the thing. Like, it is not the friendliest towards a no money spent routine, because you just got to have so much time on your hands. But who knows? Maybe it'll be better next year. But I have my doubts. But hell, I've been surprised before. But yeah, it's a fun mode to play. Like, could you ever imagine you would be able to play with Ed Too Tall Jones in any capacity, whether he's a wide receiver, corner, or his natural position of defensive end, or hell, did you ever think you were going to be able to play with Ray Lewis ever again?
No, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. There's a cool aspect of pairing legends to today, pairing legends to today's players. There's just a cool aspect of doing that, because that's always a thing. Like everybody did as a kid when they were.
Quick question.
What if Dan Marino was with today's Dolphins?
Quick question in closing. you know, what we all know MUT's gonna be a big deal next year. We have were some things we were me and Snipes were looking into in regards to the throwing motion, the rumors of the new throwing mechanics and things like that in the game, and we stumbled upon the mechanics already being in NHL.
Yeah.
So
well, yeah, they get it from somewhere.
so
that's typically how it works.
That's their thing with Madden.
So
they get it from somewhere.
Yeah.
They didn't come up
Clutch,
with it.
what up, bro? Thanks for the follow on Twitter too, bro. Appreciate it. But yeah, we noticed that the new throwing mechanics that they were talking about was already in NHL 22. So if you guys have time, if you have Xbox, you can go download NHL 22 and kind of see how you have to hit the puck and how difficult it is to maneuver the puck with the cone,
dear.
the vision cone. And could you imagine being blitzed at the same time trying to do
cone?
it? Yes, there is a vision cone in NHL, bro. So so that's the rumor that they're trying to.
It might be coming.
Implement skill-based passing. So I would just recommend everybody to go out and check that out. And if you guys, it's not mandatory. You can turn it off. It's optional. But they saying that if you want to be able to, NHL is way too hard to play. And if you're trying to use that vision cone to hit a puck and things like that, and they trying to implement that into Madden, I recommend everybody go download that now. And I like it. Madden definitely needs skill-based passing though. It's just, if you can't fix defense, make passing skill-based. That way, it's just not 100. Everybody just running the same routes and knowing you can't stop it, and you gotta compromise everything on the defensive side of the ball to take one big play away.
King of the cross all day, all season. Crossers, all season. Crossers.
Exactly, Dots. It's similar to the pinpoint pitching setting on MLB, but in MLB, you don't have anybody rushing you while you're pitching the ball. So that
would be a better game.
That would be a crazy game. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember they had that movie Basketball? Like, but that's
somebody there just talking big noise to you while you're trying to throw a fastball.
That'd be crazy.
That would be great. I love that game.
No, it gives new meaning to the term designated hitter.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Not on the field. You gotta get rid of that rock.
But shout out to everybody tuned in today. This is the conclusion of our podcast for this week. Make sure you guys tune in next week. And if you guys are interested in participating in this upcoming week's, this Monday is coming up, Fast Money Tournament, registration is open now. You can actually go to maddenunderground.com. Make sure you click on the tournament registration for the 30th. It's open, it's available. You fill out the application, you pay your fee, get in, and then we add you to the brackets. And then Monday, you're ready to lock in, man. 5 p.m.
money.
It's the first Philly guy joke I laughed at. But yeah, we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Actually, we'll see you guys Monday. But from the podcast point or perspective, we'll be back on Wednesday. So see you guys then. Make sure you guys hit that like, follow, subscribe wherever you may be viewing from. Your viewership is greatly appreciated. Thank you for tuning in.